This is the issue, and I am the ghetto man. Today's issue, the Second Amendment. Violent socialist, communist, democratic left, a war against the republic, anti-American extremism, domestic terrorism, and domestic enemies. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Congressman Scalise shot, a call for the murder of the president, Republican congressmen, conservatives, and Christians. Rand Paul attacked. 26 church-going Christians murdered in Texas. 550 country music fans shot in Las Vegas. And all by leftist, socialist, communist Democrats. This, my friends, is the signature of the violent left in America today. The Democrats have had a history of violence, and that violence has plagued our republic for over 150 years, from the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, JFK, the KKK, BLM, La Raza, Antifa, to the recent mass shooting of country music fans in Las Vegas. The signature of the left in America is domestic terrorism. The socialist, communist Democrats, they're all arming themselves today. And they're not arming themselves for their own protection. They're arming themselves to commit domestic acts of terrorism against we the people. And these attacks are part of a greater campaign to overthrow the U.S. Constitution and our constitutional republic, a leftist coup d'etat against the United States of America, a leftist war against freedom, justice, sound money, secure borders, and most of all, a war against our Republican form of government. So, what can we learn from the violent left and their acts of domestic terrorism? And how can we put a stop to this? Clearly, the recent attacks have been orchestrated for the sole purpose of promoting gun control. We all know that the left wants gun control. We all know that the left wants our firearms. And we know that the left wants to disarm us. Let's not forget, not for one moment, where gun control originated. Gun control started in Nazi Germany. Let that sink in. Firearms are effective. We all know that. And they are effective no matter whose hands that they're in. Now, the left, by their actions, has clearly demonstrated how effective guns are when they are in their hands. And they have also demonstrated to us that they have no problem using them on innocent people to further their leftist, communist agenda. But, as the left always does, they blame their opposition for the violence they created, then use that violence to further their unconstitutional, traitorous, gun grab agenda. Blame gun violence on the guns, not the leftist operative that committed the crime with a gun. The actions of these socialist, communist, Democrat traitors clearly represents one of the reasons that our nation's founding fathers made sure that the Second Amendment was added to the Bill of Rights. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment was made part of our law so that we, the people, can protect ourselves, our state, our nation, not only from an enemy that may attack our borders, but from a threat, an enemy within our borders as well, a domestic enemy. Just for one moment, can you imagine how effective a whole community of well-regulated armed citizens would have been against this leftist, Christian-murdering Democrat nutjob? How long would have it taken to neutralize this leftist terrorist had the community been trained and armed for such an event? Just as the United States Constitution calls for. You see, in order to conquer our nation from within, the enemy, the domestic enemy, must first orchestrate a campaign of propaganda that will convince the American people that it is the abuse of private ownership of firearms that is causing all the violent gun crime in our country today, when in fact, it is the traitorous left that is responsible for most, if not all, of the gun violence in our country today. And in order to solve this leftist-created gun violence problem, the left wants all private ownership of firearms restricted and regulated by government. Neat trick, huh? You see, it is by disarming the people that the violent internal, this is an internal enemy, a domestic enemy, a traitor, is by disarming the people that the violent internal socialist, communist, democratic rebellion, and it is a rebellion, can succeed with little or no resistance from we the people. The violent left today is proof positive of the importance of an armed society and how an armed society can easily keep violent leftist gun crime at bay. Unfortunately, in the case of the Texas church shooting, the leftist bad man with a gun was stopped by a constitutionalist good man with a gun. Let that sink in. Had there been more than one armed citizen that day, how many more lives could have been saved? Maybe the leftist domestic terrorist would have been killed before he had a chance to hurt anyone. You see, a gun in the hand is worth more than a cop on the phone. A nation of armed citizens is a nation of safe, polite people. The only positive thing that I can say about the violent left is this. They have clearly defined who our nation's domestic enemies are, haven't they? Guns don't kill people. Violent socialist, communist, democratic leftists kill people. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. Please check out my other videos on the Second Amendment and the militia. I will place them in the description section of the video below. And please follow me. Please subscribe to my videos. And above all, please share them. I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.